Because that's a broader, I think that's a broader scope.
I agree.
And therefore they can have different duties. Does that make sense?
Benchmarks could be done.
Yeah, I mean, whatever, there just needs to be something
Yeah.
defined instead of objective.
We're, at this point, the foundation hasn't met, so we don't have firm direction to them. And they may decide, no, this is not something that we're happy with. So this whole issue may be a moot issue anyway. But all the things that you talked about, eventually some direction, job description, those kind of things can be done. And should be done.
Are those things already out there somewhere? Is there a source for those, or are we gonna have to in-house those? We're gonna do those ourselves, and we say, here's what we want?
Typically, we cheat. We call 3 or 4 or 5 different economic development positions to say, send us what you all do. When you take that, it kind of gives you something to mold from, to massage. And you begin to massage it for something that fits your community.
But I think for the purposes of this particular discussion, we need a placeholder. We need a money placeholder. You know what I mean? We need a place. There needs to be a place. So that in case it does come to fruition sooner than later, we have the money there.
And are you saying that person needs to be a full-time employee of the city? You do,
That's exactly what it is.
Is that what you said?
I agree with Don, if he's gonna be paid in the city, he needs to have approval.
But it has to be, but again, remember, I used to use the word collaborative. This has to be a very collaborative position. Everybody has to pitch in, because in reality, everybody in this room is a Cushing economic developer. We all should be out there trying to sell the city as much as we possibly can, every single chance that we get. So we all really should be doing that job. So it has to be collaborative. It has to be, the city has to be collaborative, well, if whatever way we go, the foundation or the thing, they have to be collaborative, the chamber would have to be collaborative. Everybody would have to be able to sit at this table and be able to and join forces together. It can't be that poor person on his own, or,
Economic development's never done in a vacuum.
well, I understand that, but
And that's kind of the reason, like, for a foundation or for a board of directors, you get cross-sections of the community so that you can get that collaborative input at your board meetings. I go along with you, it's got to be more than just that.
You concur with what Commissioner Thompson said about being a separate or full-time employee of the city or something.
You know, I like Commissioner Amon, I've gone back and forth about it myself, but, I mean, I would lean towards, what Commissioner Thompson said at this point, but I'm not completely against having a further discussion about being a city employee. Having a separate board drive that, I mean, it makes sense to me, because I know nothing about economic development. Like you said, we're all economic developers, but, community planning, maybe that board, maybe they have a cross-section of people that know more about it than I do. And we set those benchmarks, we put them out there, and we'll let that go. So I'm kind of I'm going to edge to the side of funding the position with an outside board on direct. Right.
by the way, just for the record, I'm not against a group of cross-section of people being helpful in this collaborative process. Let me drop that word one more time. Collaborative process. I think we need a cross-section of people. But if we're footing the bill, I think that we need to be somewhat responsible. So I agree with Mr. Johnson on that.
Well, when anybody else had anything, commission-wise, we'll open the floor for anybody to come forward. I agree with what everyone has said, because everybody's input, I think, draws us to the same conclusion. we need a community development position. I'm for striking the name and broadening that position in terms of it being community development. I think that the city of Cushing has a great need for community development. I think the community development can do so much more, and it not just be measured strictly on job creation or industry creation and things like that. I think that we're actually missing, a lot of opportunity by not having someone specifically designated to work on community development issues, inclusive of economic development, inclusive of a lead community development program in terms of beautification, grants and funding. What grants and funding are we missing? We hear all the time about the fire department, the police department, the airport receiving grants. We had a private citizen who came in with a walking trail grant. But what other grants and things are we actually pursuing that we have time to pursue? Is probably the better question, is that we have time and staff resource to pursue, because I don't think that we really do, like we would want to. All of us would want, everybody around here would want to. So I think having a broad brush like that gives us a lot better opportunity in the community, and I don't think it sets us up for failure initially. I don't. I agree with what Commissioner Amon said too. It's something I said at the meeting that we had back on the 21st, that some of the secrets of success, based on what I understand of community development, is having good community leadership in place. We have that, I believe. A good community support and involvement. I think people around here they want to find an opportunity to plug in to do something. Everybody's got a purpose. So I think that exists. Sound planning, going right back to what you said, I said the same thing on the 21st. I know for a fact there's 4 of us sitting around this table that have championed our cause to have an opportunity to serve in this board, because we believe, because we said it publicly, that we believe that our community deserve to have a vision plan. A plan that sets a course for us, not just for the day, but for the long term. There's 4 of us around here that said that's what we wanted to see happen. And I think in order for us to get there, we're going to have key people that are working here that will be able to help get us to that point. I'm going to tell you up front, I don't have the skill set to do it. I don't have the time to do it. I work full time. And I know all of you all work full time with the exception of 2 of you, but you guys both that are retired are both heavily involved in things going on here in the community. So I think having someone on board like that on staff has an opportunity to take us a lot of places that we haven't been in some time. Organization, people, and resources, we have both of those here. The community is extremely fortunate to have both of those. And then a sense of accomplishment. Success breeds success. When you believe and know that you're succeeding, you go somewhere. So I say all that, and I said also on the 21st that a worry of mine was if the position is outside of City Hall and it's not an employee of the city, it hopefully lacks the ability to have that position politicized, which is something I wouldn't want us to see happen. But I think if you strike the term economic development and you focus on community development with all these other things, once you create a package for what it is that you're looking for, not going out and reinventing the wheel, but what you're looking for, then I think it gives us a much better opportunity to be much more successful. Whether or not, if the person's a full-time employee of the city of Cushing and they're not officed here, so they're officed somewhere else, well, have we taken the time to ask the other body if they even want them there or not?
Yeah, we have.
I haven't, because we hadn't got this honed down to where we would even want to do something with it. And the chamber director's here. I'm not going to put the chamber director on the spot, but is that a question that can be affirmatively asked by the city manager? Does the Chamber of Commerce even want a community developer in their offices?
I have not spoken with them, so I couldn't answer it.
And I think that's an official question that needs to come from the chamber board, that they need to answer for us, and I think that answer needs to be in writing. So
It will be on their agenda.
yes, so we don't have an idea, we have a firm commitment that they're willing to work in collaboration with us to facilitate community development. This is what this body decides to do in terms of them being out there or not, or being up here at City Hall.
If I may, the most important thing at this point is to have an economic development. Being at the chamber, being here, a full-time economic developer. I'll always believe that being on the private sector side is the best way to go. However, assuming that that doesn't happen, we don't know whether it will or it won't, the second best scenario is having a developer at the city.
I agree with that.
Having said that, I don't think, should the city be the employer, I don't think you can take that person and put him in the chamber, because that takes him completely out of place. If he needs to talk to Steve, if he needs to talk to code enforcement, if he needs to talk to somebody, electric, about running electric for a new position, he can't do it from there, it needs to be here.
Either way, as it stands right now, I think our best opportunity, and I'm looking from the perspective of planning and visioning and all that stuff. To me, if we're gonna get ahead in the game and get to where I feel like we wanna be, and starting next year, hopefully, if I'm still around here next year, to be able to get a process like that launched here, we have to have people on staff that have the ability to do that serve under us, that take direction from us. And I think it gives us the best opportunity to get that process started, something that we don't have right now. We don't have it. And it doesn't pain me to say that, because I still think at the end of the day that we still win. Our community wins.